back to Immunobytes. I'm John Molson.
And I'm Jimmy Gutman.
Jimmy, last week we spoke about telomeres and aging. Why don't we talk more directly about the work we've done over the last few years?
Well, we'd have to take a bit of a trip back in time, John, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, but why don't you talk about some of Dr. Bunos' earlier findings from the 1980s?
1980s? Well, that caused a bit of a stir, and I'm sure it attracted a lot of attention at that time.
Yeah, well, these studies have to be considered novel because of their effect on aging. And Dr. Bunos' papers are still very much referred to, even in today's publications on anti-aging.
No doubt about it, John. He was a pioneer.
He sure was.
Well, way back when we started doing work at McGill with Dr. Bunos and Dr. Kongshaven, it was actually a bit of an accident that we discovered that there were a group of laboratory animals that were living. These animals were living anywhere between 30 and 50% longer than their cohorts. And it was these animals that were being fed the great-grandfather of Immunotec. It still took us a couple of years to understand the mechanism at work, but now look how far we've come because of this.
Now it's important to mention why these animals live longer. The theory was that by improving the immune response, you stave off the onset of age-related diseases. And now in 2011, we should surpass 100,000 articles in the medical literature written on glutathione, much of which was stimulated by original research done by Immunotec scientists.
And it sure hasn't slowed down at all. I know, John, you've been working pretty hard on a study now on aging.
I sure have, but it's pretty hard to design an 85-year-long anti-aging study.
Of course. Well, I guess we're looking at things like quality of life in the normal aging individual.
That's right, Jimmy. We have a terrific study underway right now, which is almost completed. It was designed by Dr. Droog, and we're looking at cognitive function as well as muscle function in the elderly adult. It's being run at the University of Montréal, their Institut de Recherche Clinique in Montreal. It was the first center in Quebec to bring together fundamental science and clinicians under one roof. The center has grown to be one of Canada's leading research centers with 36 research units organized into 5 research programs. We're very proud of our work at this center.
Can you tell us a bit about some of the individuals running the study?
Sure, Jim. We're very fortunate to be collaborating with Dr. Remy Rabassa-Lauré, who's director of the Metabolic Diseases Research Unit at the Université de Montréal. Here's a quote from Dr. Remy Rabassa-Lauré, which describes the scientific relevance of the study. Immunotec should be commended for initiating and supporting this very important research study of its lead product, Immunocal, in aging. It's rare to see companies in this field conducting double-blind randomized studies with a control group. The focus of the study is highly relevant for people over the age of 65, assessing the combined effects of exercise and supplementation with the cysteine-rich whey protein isolate, Immunocal, as well as the potential impact on important functions such as muscle strength and cognition, and may provide significant benefits in the population.
Wow, John, way to go. I mean, this is really important. It's not just about living longer, it's about living better. This is an area that conventional medicine's had a habit of overlooking.
Well, we may be scientific here at Immunotec, but we're anything but conventional.
Yeah, but at the same time, the level of scientific validation makes even the most obsessive-compulsive scientist or researcher love what we're accomplishing.
Jim, next week, why don't we look at some of the science around muscle strength in young people like me instead of geriatric patients like yourself?
Oh, thanks, John. Let me get my walker and turn off the camera. See you next week.